All right. I decided to make a quick video in regards to this one person who um, people keep telling me about. And I mean, I've already known about this guy before, but I wanted to do my thoughts on him because if people have actually wanted, like, genuinely have my thoughts, I'm sick and tired of answering, "Oh, true empiricism, true empiricism. What do you think of him?" Uh, don't care, honestly. Not really much of a high opinion based on just observing his own hangouts, basically. I mean, I hear things from both sides of the positions, from the atheist and the theist position. And I decide to give it a check occasionally. So let me go to my YouTube here to screen share. All right. Is it there? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how many people he has. He's one of those that just kind of hides that. Um, but the one thing that I notice about true empiricism is that he tends to kind of be a little bit of a censor in regards to criticism. Like if someone points out a nothing really involving foul language, but just simply a fair criticism of something that they type up, not just copy and paste and put it there. Their comment never gets posted. It's up there for a little bit, but then it gets taken down the next minute by true empiricism. And that's normally how the whole comments work. I've done it to people that will troll me sometimes by not offering criticism, but simply stating things like Allah Akbar or something like that. But true empiricism is someone who, I mean, he has a hangout in which it goes well. There's no porn bombers, there's no spammers, but then all of a sudden it's taken down. To me, if you're going to have a hangout of which the purpose is to post the information out there so that the audience may see and know uh, what information you have or truth that you have, that should give you, you shouldn't be like, oh, yes, we need to then hide it at that point. I mean, I'm very skeptical, especially in regards to like just some of these titles that he has. For example, Drag, referring to Dragnot, who I've managed to have a conversation with before, very decent individual. Drag lies right through his tooth. And I don't know why he went with this title, since in the same video he shows, it reveals that Drag has more than just a tooth in regards to his teeth. It would have been actually funny if, or actually have a point if if it was through his teeth. But I don't know. We don't get that. So the next thing is like he has this bring it evolutionist thing that he's been doing. And because I'm an evolutionary creationist, I've had people telling me, hey, you have to debate true empiricism on this issue, of which I say I'm not a scientist, nor do I entertain science by any stretch of the imagination in regards to my position on this. Now, do I just hold to the consensus of the scientific things that I've learned in high school? Yes, and I don't see any reason to be disproved or to not to. I don't see how I'll be wrong in this case, in my evolutionary creationist perspectives. But the one thing that I think was interesting is that I did try to challenge him to a debate, but I've told people before that if I'm doing a debate on this, which I've done 2 of them on, with G-Man once and with MG42 Pillbox, who I would later find out was actually a troll this whole time. the debates is on theology. I don't debate the science on the issue because I'm not a scientist. So I have no access to research on the matter. So I have to focus specifically on the theological matter because that's all I care about. I'm a guy who studies apologetics and theology. I'm not a scientist or an apologist for science or an advocate on that matter. There's other people who can fight that fight. General Han Solo is a physicist, and he's known this stuff better than I can. So I let him have that fight. I focus on the question of, can a Christian believe in it? And among people I've asked the question to do this debate on, True Empiricism was one of the names that came up. And it pretty much boiled down to that he wouldn't do it because he only does things on the issue of science. He doesn't do debates on whether or not it is theological. So I mean, just to me, there is a time where I'm honestly starting to think that like he didn't want to do a debate, but he did agree to a discussion on it from a theological perspective. And I just don't think we ever got back with each other on that. But some of the other things I'm noticing is that while he mostly talks about intelligent design and refuting atheism, there's really not much talk about the gospel or Christianity in his thing. He talks about the atheist doesn't have the right worldview and to make these objections and such. But that's about as much as he comes to. Like the only thing I've seen where Bible gets really mentioned in some things, in some cases, is like Bible and science, living 1,000 years and a real possibility talked about in ancient beliefs. Like he says that the Bible is consistent with modern science and all these things, which the only thing that it kind of reminds me of is like Dr. Maurice Buccelli who wrote his book about the Quran being in line with modern science and such. And it's pretty much you're just making those statements that it seems that way without considering the actual facts about what these books teach. I mean, because that's what I think some of the people like Eric Hovind and stuff would say is that the Bible is like in line with modern science, but at the same time, if you actually take a look at like Isaiah, where it says that the circle of the earth, that's not referring to a circle in a spherical sense. If you look at the Hebraic word in the lexicons, all define it as circle, and it means like a flat circle. And that is because it is referring to the ancient understanding of the Israelites, in which it was the cosmology of a flat earth. I mean, this is something that conservative biblical scholarship affirms, not the apologist of people like Eric Hovind, of which are not Bible scholars. These are just simply apologists who defend the faith. But when you have people like Dr. Michael Heiser, and what was his name? Dr. Gleason Archer and all these other scholars that have gone to seminary, have read the Bible in its entirety more than once and have studied it in the original languages and studied the context and the history of the ancient Israelites as well as the New Testament church era, we have to understand that the Bible is not meant to be a science book and cannot be treated as such. the thing of the Bible is that some interpretations are going to be valid, but at the same time, we can't just simply say that the Bible is in line with modern science. If we do that, then we do commit intellectual dishonesty at this point. And I got someone in the chat saying this video should have had more prep. Well, I honestly wasn't even wanting to do this video, honestly. It's just that whenever I see some of these things and keep hearing of the name, I just want this whole thing done with. Me having to answer the question of what are my thoughts on true empiricism? Again, I mean, until this guy can stop deleting his videos as soon as he finishes doing them, as soon as he stops deleting like criticisms that is aimed at him, because if you look at my channel, my videos, I got some nasty criticisms, and I allow them up there because that is how you, one, engage with the skeptic and teach them, and then second, you have to at least have some kind of criticism from even the side that's on your side to critique your arguments, to not say you're an idiot, but to help you and to guide you. And if you're going to dismiss those, then you're never going to learn. That's how I've managed to grow from my years of experience as a Christian to being a better apologist, to focus more on what's important and how better to articulate the argument. So my overall opinion of true empiricism is that, I mean, with the behavior he goes on in some of these videos, especially which the names to me are just cringy in general, it's I don't think he's going to get anyone, especially like, here's the one thing that I did ended up getting myself involved into whenever I was in a hangout where this stuff actually went place, was the whole thing about DNA degrading in water. I heard from his own mouth he says this. Then later on denies ever said that DNA degrades in water. And to me, again, that's, if you're going to say that you say one thing but you change your words to something else, that is dishonesty, especially when people call you out on it and actually have the videos. And I think that's one of the things of why these videos keep getting deleted, because he doesn't want these moments again. Again, he is just a very confusing individual who I honestly can't make too much of an opinion on, because True is just somebody who is, until I actually see him take responsibility for some of the things he says, then I can't say I support the guy. I mean, I just can't. I mean, because one of the things about why I started my ministry in the first place was to provide an honest, open discussion of which to get the gospel out there. And if you're not going to be as willing to even be honest about something you've said, and are going to delete criticism and to delete videos of which could help people, then I don't know what to say to you. I mean, if anyone wants to pass this on to true empiricism and he wants to come on theological discussion, or maybe a night of Ask Christian Anarchist on Fridays, then we'll try to do our best to get something arranged for y'all. But that is my thoughts on true empiricism, and I don't want anyone else asking what my thoughts are. If you ask me, I will keep directing you to this video, and that will be it. All right. So that'll be all I have on the video. So until then, have a good day.